Alright, we're back with another Vintage Masters draft, and we have a sweet mythic in Upheaval. Not sure really how to take advantage of that. There isn't really any artifact mana. Not as far as I know. It's not worth anything. I mean, you could ramp, but that's not really what you want to be doing. Otherwise it's Man of War, Arrogant Worm, or Chain Lightning, and I'm leaning towards the Arrogant Worm. I haven't tried the Madness deck really, and that could be really sweet. I'm gonna pick it and see where we end. Mana Fixer, Penumbra Worm, Armadillo Cloak is nice, Brainstorm is sweet. Ophidian is kinda cool. If we're going with this, it's either black or blue. So it's like Brainstorm or Paralyze or Ophidian. Or Penumbra Worm, I suppose. Armadillo Cloak is nice and all, but I'm gonna pick the Brainstorm here. Regrowth, Nature's Lore, Crows and Tusker, Waterfront Bouncer. Alright. Regrowth is nice, but I think Crows and Tusker is better. I really like Crows and Tusker. I'm gonna pick him. Famine, alright. We could be moving into black instead of blue, because Famine is a pretty good one to have access to. And it's the best card in this pack, so Fyndhorn Elves looks like the card I'm interested in here. Frantic Search would be sweet with Arrogant Worm though, but I know I will be green, so Fyndhorn Elves it is. Ichorid. I think this is just Predator and Night Stalker, even though this is much cooler. And this will probably be some kind of rock deck. Although we could be seeing a splash for like Psychotog or yeah, something like that. Frantic Search. But this start is more than acceptable. Really all I want to do in the beginning of a draft is picking powerful cards. Ramp elves, big dudes, sweepers, I mean that is powerful cards. So we'll see. I also think Expunge, the Doomblade of the format so to speak, goes pretty late, and that's good if you happen to be in black. Oh, that's a lot of mana. 8. Okay. It's that or Mesmeric Fiend. I'm not opposed to this because we could get like reanimate and stuff like that, and this would be a perfect target for that. Yeah, and the worm seems kinda good too. Fair enough. So we need ways to get them into the yard. We have 0 so far. Death Reap Ritual is kinda nice. Or a land. I'm gonna take the ritual, it seems pretty cool. Mana Prism, Paralyze or Mountain Valley. If I am looking to splash some blue at some point, the Prism is decent. And it also helps me to ramp up to the big cards. Probably not. I'll take the discard spell. That's a discard outlet, but it's pretty expensive. The Owl is a discard outlet, so that's good. Sure, cyber card. kind of a decent start actually. We're lacking in this department though. But I mean a turn 2 owl into... We could actually have like turn 2 owl, discard baleful force and reanimate it. Okay. Ring of Gix. Oh right, it's that. That's pretty strong. Him though is him. I would love Chainer Sirik, Crows and Tusker, Nightscape Familiar with him is pretty strong. Pretty much exactly what you need here. Another Night Stalker. Aquameba is a discard outlet. It's kinda awkward to have it on the splash though. I mean, we could also cut the 2 green cards or 3 green cards and just have this to sacrifice, or rather to discard. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Aquameba here. There's an Edict and a Nature's Lore. I think the Edict is more valuable at this stage of the draft. There's an Animate Dead. That is also pretty good, but we will take the Animate Dead. Alright, some kind of reanimator. And now we're not looking to play the green. Another Brainstorm, another Edict, or a Scrivener. Let's see, if we cut the green, let's say we only have like those 3, maybe those 4, like we can run 2 forests or whatever, so we can reanimate the worm or the Tusker. We can always cycle him. I guess this is a forest cycler. That could be extremely valuable now that I think of it. Yeah, I think if we pick up like 2 of those, we could play the green and have black blue as our main. Yeah, that seems fine. Another Night Stalker or a Looter. I think it's the Looter. There's a Nature's Lore. We don't need any of those cards right now. Rocket Torpid doesn't really help unless we open a duel. Paralyze seems kind of clunky. I'm gonna pick the claws for the sideboard. Another claw. Sure, we'll take the Buzzer, but I don't think we will run him. Circular Logic or the Brindle Shout, whatever. I'm gonna pick the Logic here. It seems good. Oh, Nature's Lore Wheeling. That's nice. Provoke or another Scourge Familiar. Sure. So this seems pretty sweet. We have 1, 2, 3 discard outlets so far. We have 1 Forest Cycler to grab a forest for us. And we're only really looking to cast this on Madness, this, and cycle this. So that seems kind of okay. I guess now when we've picked up Nature's Lore, we could be more looking into splashing blue. We'll see what we will go. Could also be straight 3 colors. Right, nothing great in the rare department. We have Obsessive Search as the only card. That is a big letdown. That really is a big letdown. We got Man of War, Jin, Expunge and circular logic, and I'm going to take expunge. I like the removals. So right now we're looking at the more future sight, like future sight. I think we need to take frantic search though. That is like the glue we need here. It is pretty awesome actually. Yeah. Another Aquameva is perfect. And the only thing I'm really interested in here, I'm looking to cut a card, and that's probably the Scourge Familiar. Probably. So we could either ramp up to the big stuff, or we could discard them and animate them. Another reanimate spell would be perfect. Or another good madness spell would also be pretty good. Dungeon Warden. We've got an owl. And a power sink and a Dungeon Warden. The Dungeon Warden is maybe a bit of a stretch. Yeah, I don't think we can run that. Now we're probably cutting like... I don't know, we'll see. What is this? Oh, right. We got a Blastoderm, a mana fixer that we kind of need, actually, or another decent reanimate target. Or animated target, I should say. Yeah, mana fixing this. Ooh, Ether Mutation. Have a Putrid Imp, but Ether Mutation is kinda nice. Tangle for the sideboard. Paralyze for the sideboard. Tranquil Thicket. Sure. Not really sure where this deck is going, but it's probably somewhere nice. We have some removals so we can make things die. Nightscape, what are you doing? Not that much. But you are pretty good. Don't need any other cards, so sure. He's also a pretty decent blocker. Got the sword ready. Sure. Could be nice to bounce a lightning rift or whatever and counter it with circular logic. So the best we could do is probably turn 2 Nature's Lore into turn 3 Death Reap Ritual and then start killing stuff. We should have permission late game. That's all I'm saying. Baleful Force. 7/7, that draws me a card. It's kind of similar to the Bloodgift Demon from Innistrad. Only that the demon is 3 mana cheaper and flies, and you get to choose who you want to target, so there's that. Do we get to pick our last cards or not? Let's see here. Probably not playing Paralyze. I'm not that interested in that card. I don't think it's very good. Obviously depends on what you're doing, but... Overwhelming Uprising could be cool, but I mean... I think we have... late game as it is. So... we're looking at 28 cards that we could potentially play. So now it's more a matter of what colors do we want to lean upon. I'm gonna put in everything that I'm interested in playing. Sure. Alright. So this is obviously not gonna cut it. So first of all, we only have one animate dead, which make me think that not only did our plan to go madness / reanimate not really paid off, because we only got the first picked arrogant worm as our madness spell and one circular logic. That's not fantastic, but I think what we want to do is control the board. And first of all, we have Death Reap Ritual, so we want our cheap creatures because we want them to die basically. And that makes me think that we need to be at least blue as the main color, which is interesting because really we could, if we cut the hymn basically, we can be splashing black, even though we have the double black spells. I like the big stuff here. We have a forest cycler, but I don't think we have enough. And if we're cutting this, we're cutting the nature's lore, and then we're not really equipped to play the big spells here. I mean, we have one animate dead. That's the only thing we have to bring them back. On the other hand, we are going to draw a lot of cards. But in that case, we're mainly splashing green, and then jungle worm is out. And then we have a cycler, madness card. Yeah, I kinda like that. Playing this only as a reanimate target, basically. Baleful Force could be hard cast dead. The Aquamavas is not fantastic, since we only have 1, 2, 3 madness cards, but we have them as a reanimate. I mean, if we have this game, for example, turn 2 Aquamava, turn 3 animate dead, the Baleful Force or the Symbiotic Worm, that is pretty huge. I think that is worth it. Yeah. So we need to cut one more card, and it's either Paralyze. Yeah, it's Paralyze. We could also run Mana Prism. I'm not in love with that idea. We're more splashing green, and we only really need one forest to function. We have an extra green source here, so let's see what it says. 5/7/5. I think it's like at least 2 forests too much. Probably something like this. And then we're cutting a forest for a Pine Barrens. Then we have 3, 4 green sources, 5 green sources, but this one requires a green, so 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black. It will be difficult to hymn on turn 2. That's for sure. But other than that, we don't really need double black until later in the game. Yeah, we'll try this out. No tranquil tickets, I'm afraid. See you shortly for game 1.